You've been repeating "I am confident" into your mirror every morning for 6 months, and you're more anxious than when you started. That pattern has a mechanical explanation, and it has nothing to do with whether you believe hard enough. By the end of this, you'll understand exactly why affirmations backfire for most people, what's actually happening beneath the words, and how to stop reinforcing the very thing you're trying to escape. Because right now, every time you stand in front of that mirror, there's a good chance you're making it worse. Think about the last time you said something you knew was a lie. Your chest tightened, your breathing shifted. Maybe your shoulders crept up half an inch. Your body registered the mismatch before your conscious mind could override it. That physical response is the key to understanding why affirmations become a trap. When you say "I am wealthy," while your bank account is overdrawn, two signals fire at once. The words push one message, your body pushes another, and your body's signal is louder. Always. It carries decades of lived experience, stored tension, and physical memory that no sentence can overwrite in 30 seconds. The spoken affirmation becomes background noise against a full-body broadcast screaming the opposite. Researchers in self-perception theory have been circling this problem since the 1960s. The premise is straightforward. We form beliefs about ourselves, partly by observing our own behavior and physical states. Your brain is constantly reading your posture, your breathing rate, the tension in your jaw. It uses that data to answer the question, how do I actually feel right now? When the answer conflicts with the words coming out of your mouth, the body wins, every time. So what happens during that conflict? Something worse than nothing. A study published in Psychological Science found that people with low self-esteem actually felt worse after repeating positive self-statements. The affirmation highlighted the gap between where they were and where the words claimed they should be. Instead of building a bridge, it widened the canyon. The participants who benefited were the ones who already believed the statement was mostly true. They were confirming, not convincing. The distinction matters more than any technique. Picture someone terrified of public speaking. They stand backstage, hands trembling, stomach in knots, repeating "I am a powerful speaker." Every repetition lands against a wall of physical evidence to the contrary. Their hands are shaking, their voice is tight, their body is saying one thing with absolute certainty, and their mouth is saying something else. The brain resolves this contradiction the same way it resolves most contradictions. It sides with the stronger signal. The body is the stronger signal. This creates a loop. The affirmation triggers awareness of the gap triggers stress, the stress reinforces the original belief, and the next morning, you stand in front of the mirror again, now carrying yesterday's failed attempt as additional evidence that you can't change. The tool designed to help has become a ratchet tightening in the wrong direction. Cognitive dissonance theory explains part of this mechanism. When two conflicting beliefs exist simultaneously, the brain experiences genuine discomfort. It will resolve that discomfort by adjusting the weaker belief to match the stronger one. If your body holds years of stored anxiety, fear, or inadequacy, those physical patterns are the stronger belief. The affirmation, 30 seconds old, spoken into a mirror, is the weaker one. Your brain doesn't upgrade to match the affirmation. It downgrades the affirmation to match the body. You walk away feeling like a fraud. And fraud is exactly the right word. Psychologists studying imposter syndrome have found that the feeling of being a fraud intensifies when people perform confidence they don't feel. The performance itself becomes evidence of deception. Your brain logs it. I had to pretend. That means the real me is the scared version. Each repetition of the affirmation adds another entry to that ledger. So why does this advice persist everywhere? Because for a specific subset of people, affirmations do work. People who already have moderate self-belief use affirmations as reinforcement. They're watering an existing plant. The person with deep-seated contradictory beliefs is pouring water on concrete and wondering why nothing grows. Same action, completely different substrate. The body stores experience in ways that verbal language can't directly access. Trauma researchers have documented this extensively. A person who grew up being told they were worthless carries that message in their posture, their breathing patterns, the chronic tension in specific muscle groups. These physical patterns formed over years. They operate below conscious awareness, and they broadcast constantly, feeding your brain a steady stream of data about who you are. An affirmation is trying to overwrite a hard drive by talking to it. The way out starts with the body, working in the same direction as the words, instead of against them. Somatic approaches flip the sequence. Instead of starting with the statement and hoping the body follows, you start with the body and let the belief emerge from physical experience. Amy Cuddy's research on postural feedback, despite its controversies around the hormonal claims, pointed at something the somatic therapy world had known for decades. Changing the body's state changes the information the brain receives. When the brain receives different data, it updates its conclusions. This looks mundane in practice. Breath work that shifts your nervous system out of a contracted state, movement patterns that open the chest and release chronic tension. Gradual, repeated exposure to the physical sensations of the state you want to inhabit. You teach your body what confidence feels like before you try to name it. The naming comes last, as confirmation of something already happening, the opposite of traditional affirmation practice. There's a version of this that behavioral therapists call acting as if. But the emphasis lands on the acting, the doing, the physical experience. You place yourself in situations that require the behavior you want to embody, in small doses, and your body accumulates new data points. Over weeks, the physical patterns begin to shift, your baseline tension drops, your posture changes. And then, when you say, "I am confident," your body doesn't revolt, it agrees. The affirmation becomes a label for something you already feel, which is the only context where it ever worked in the first place. The trap has a cruel elegance to it. The people who need affirmations most are the ones most damaged by them. The gap between their words and their physical reality is the widest, which means the dissonance is the loudest. They try harder, repeat more, buy the journal, download the app, set the daily reminder, and each repetition drives the wedge a little deeper. Critics might argue that millions of people report affirmations changing their lives, and those reports shouldn't be dismissed. Fair. Some of those people started with a small gap. They were already 70% of the way there, and the affirmation closed the remaining 30%. Others combined affirmations with action, therapy, or environmental changes that did the real work, while the affirmation got the credit. And some experienced a genuine placebo effect, strong enough to create initial momentum. Placebo responses are real physiological events. They can crack open a window, but they rarely rebuild a foundation. The uncomfortable implication is that self-help culture has been selling a top-down solution to a bottom-up problem for decades. Words live in the conscious mind. The contradictory beliefs live in the body, in the breath, in the muscle tension you've carried so long you've forgotten it's there. The mismatch between where the tool operates and where the problem lives explains why so many people cycle through affirmation practices, vision boards, and journaling prompts without lasting change. They keep redecorating the surface while the structure underneath holds its shape. If you've been repeating affirmations and feeling worse, that reaction is actually useful information. Your body is telling you the gap exists. That signal is the starting point, the honest data your brain is working with. The path forward runs through that discomfort, through the body, through the physical patterns, through small actions that generate new sensory evidence, until the day the words match what's already true, in your chest, your hands, your breathing. And that quiet agreement between what you say and what you feel, that's the thing the mirror was supposed to give you all along.